17 Franklin children, and I was the third youngest son. And my father was a minister, so he wanted me to grow up and be a minister as well. Well, that all changed. Well, I only went to school for 2 years because my father pulled me out of school to work at the candle shop with him. And I only went to school for 2 years because when I was 10 years old, that was my very first invention. And that was a flippers and hand paddles. I think you guys might have heard of those. Well, I just invented those to make me fast at swimming. And, oh man, one of the most miserable parts of my life, well, that's when I had to work at the printing shop with my brother James. Well, even worse, he owned the printing shop. He was so mean, you could probably compare him to Roger from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Well, actually, he was so really mean. He went to jail and prevented me from getting any jobs at Boston. So, what I had to do, I wanted more money, more jobs, and more material to make inventions. So I moved to 17 different places in 25 years in the U.S. And I finally settled in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I wrote the Pennsylvania Gazette. And it was a newspaper, and everybody was reading it. And I got lots of money and became rich and got married to Deborah Reed. Well, a couple years later, I became a scientist, which invented the lightning rod. And I don't think some of you guys know what the lightning rod is, so I'm going to tell a little story about how I did it. One time I was flying my kite with my son, minding our own business, just having a little fun outside. And it was very stormy, which I didn't realize. And lightning struck the kite. The electricity traveled down the string and touched the key that I was holding. It was attached to the kite. And I felt a shock of the genius, and a light bulb went up. And that's how I went to the lightning rod. And the lightning rod was metal, a little piece of long metal, which has a wire that's going down. And people used to put that on top of their house. So every time lightning strikes the lightning rod, they get more electricity for a longer time. And I was also a musician that played the harp, the guitar, the violin, and my favorite instrument of all, which I invented, was the glass harmonica. And then a couple more years later, I joined up with my friends Thomas Jefferson on one hand and John Adams on the other hand. And we all got together and we wrote the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. And thanks to me, we have fireworks every 4th of July. And what the Declaration of Independence meant, that all men should be treated equally, have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But sadly, I died when I was 80 years old, and people still come to Boston, Massachusetts to see my memorial.